Just got delivery of my new log splitter here. We'll get her opened up, see what we have. It's a Hartnett, made in Cork, made in Ireland. Horizontal diagonal log splitter, so it's well packaged here. Nuts and bolts, hopefully they're spares. Definitely very well packed. Every strap that's on her, they've put a wee bit of cardboard just to stop it from screwing up the paintwork, you know. Yeah, pleased with that. I love the fact that they've actually screwed wee bits of wood there, just to the pallet. Make sure the wheels stay in place. Not as simple, but it's the obvious thing to do. Best of all, they give me a free log. Get to try her out. Comes with a couple of extras, so it has this sort of push plate here at the end, which the wedge then pushes against. You can take that off and put the that other wedge, the smaller one at this side here. That's the push plate. It goes on the ram, and then you can push it into the four-way wedge that goes on here. So when you're working horizontal, you can just push the logs right off the end of her. For safety reasons, obviously here in Northern Ireland, the UK, for whatever safety reasons, you have to have two-handed. That means you kind of got to stand behind it. You got to stand behind this back wheel to push the two levers, which means you're going to be walking around this wheel all the time. So I have a bit of an idea. Just the way this valve block's just screwed straight in the top of the cylinder. I asked them for another hose, spare hose, and there's just cable tied it on there, nice and neat. So that means if I want to relocate the valve block, just stick it in here, and I can move the valves to wherever I want. Let's get it off. Alright, so she's been running for, I don't know, a couple of minutes now. So give her some revs and see if we can split the loading log we got with it. That was a good job. Yep, here, she's a good job. Just took her a wee second, she maybe wasn't totally warmed up. She'd run for a right wee while there, but just whenever I gave her the revs, she stalled the first time. That's just the log that was put up there, that's the pallet log. Thank you, Hartnett. So I'm looking at this battery here, and there's a lead coming out this side and a lead coming out that side. And if you're going to stand in here, you're just going to get caught in this, so I don't really understand why they've done that, but let's just flick it over to the other side. I really do think I have a bit of a problem, because the first thing I want to do here is replace these with round head Allen bolts. And I know I don't need to, but it just looks better. Bling your machine. Part of the reason for going for this splitter was the fact that it's got this battery in it, so it's a key start. Means that if I want to put an LED light or something on it. Why are you not starting? There we go. You know, if you want to put an LED light or something on the splitter for working at night, you can do it. For obviously I'm in Northern Ireland, come the winter time, it's dark at, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, so quite nice just to have a bit of a light on it. Come home from work and do a bit of splitting. There we go. Let's tidy it. So I'm really not keen on this 2-lever setup. It's just it's a health and safety regulation thing for here for selling stuff, that if you're selling these things they have to be 2-handled, but it means you have to stand away at the back here when you're using it to get the shove, because you have to push both at the same time. You can't just grab a lever and tweak it, you know. It's a bit dopey. So I'm gonna look, see if I can work out some way of changing that. So I should be able to take that pin out. Not nice as that. There's my two levers. See, can I use that lever? Bit rash. Might work. Let's get this off. Let's see, stand slow, fuel's on, choke's on. So that was about half an hour there, and filled that wee trailer about half full. I don't know what that is. Half a cube, 3/4 of a cube, something like that. So I'm still trying to get the handle on the machine, you know. 4-way wedge is a good job, but you definitely don't want to tie a couple of big logs through it, and it's just going to be sore in the wedge, like. So any of the big ignorant stuff, just leave it to the end, I'll take the wedge off. So, but yeah, that was just a wee first try there, and definitely a good machine. Couldn't have stuck it without the that single lever all the same. This is the lever, I made that last night. Got to be a bit carried about. It definitely needs a table front here. Yeah, everything just, as soon as it splits, just falls onto the ground. Sure, it's no use to man their beast, so I'll have to get a proper table, make some sort of a table. That's part of the reason why I went for the diagonal one, for it has this bolt on plate here, these bolts, so I can make something that will fit on there and make me a proper table. But yeah, first load. This lever that I made it's not right, so it's perfect whenever it's up here. You can see works lovely, but whenever you let go it drops down. So this linkage in here is just not right. It needs to be sitting up about there. So I need to make something to hold this up, just some sort of a bracket, and that'll be right. So this was the bit I made all this at 2 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, didn't get it right, so try and get this fixed. Okay, let's make another one of these. So this is what we got going on here. I didn't really keep on top of the video because kept changing my mind about what way to do things, plus I didn't want to show you my messy workbench. So 2 bits of angle welded on here, welded together, wee bit of a wing coming down, a bit of a relief here for the handle coming back, and I just need some sort of an axle through here just to hold this pivot so you can see the way it works in there now. So it's working lovely there now, but I'm just have a wee bit of stud bar in there just for now. I'll get a proper stainless bolt in there because I don't really like it pivoting on the threaded bit. I might also put a wee, I think I'll make a wee tiny link that'll just go from the center in here back to this point, just to take any sort of forward pull of that wee axle, you know. So if somebody's been a bit rash with it, it's not going to just bend this wee axle. I could have brought these things in narrower, but you know, it is what it is. We'll just put a wee link in there. That'll be a good enough job. So gonna take this top plate off here, paint it up, and make that wee axle. Call it done. Right, the next thing I'm looking at here is the trying to make some sort of a table where whenever the logs get pushed up, they come through the splitting wedge. They just seem to fall off the end here, between it and the trailer. So I reckon if I have a wee bit of a table with sort of slots in it, smaller stuff can fall down through, decent stuff can stay on. So I reckon I need start about 8 inches there, and I want it to take most of a log at the back. So if I want to grab a bit and re-split it, you know. So let's go for 12 inches at the back, so 8 and 12 is 20 inches. So yeah, let's cut them at 20 inches. Just do a stack, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, want that to be flush. Set those down. This is an old MIG that a friend of mine gave me. The circuit board was knackered in it, but I was able to get it fixed by a guy over in England, and it does a real good job. Doesn't have a whole lot of power, but it's the first MIG I've had. Usually do gas welding, but for this sort of stuff the electric's spot on, so we'll give her a go. Yeah, that's bang on. Let's go for that. Oh, sorry YouTube. Still square. Okay, so I kind of like this spacing, which is more or less just the size of one of those. So the plan is here I'm just going to work my way along. So these over the back. set one in, push it up tight, tag it, and make sure it's flush to the back. I'm keeping it up so that it's, the tacks aren't getting in the way. Add a wee bit of support. So I've been thinking about making some sort of sides here, and I was going to make wee posts and make a wee short side, but thinking about it, if I'm putting a great big round on here and it's sitting away out, it could hit this, or if I'm standing in here and there's a post in here, it's going to be hitting and getting in your way. So I think I'm actually just going to cut these flush. I'll weld it up, cut them off, or should have cut them first. I think I'll weld it. I'll weld her up, then I'll cut those off, and I'm just going to leave it flush for now, and see if stuff's constantly falling off the side. Well, I can come onto the side there, no problem. But I think actually having sides on it is going to be more of a nuisance. So let's yeah. Let's get it all welded up and just trimmed up and tidied. Okay, so the MIG just quit and I'm guessing the problem is that the fuse is gone. So let's just try the machine fuses first. Actually looks okay too, so hopefully it's the fuse in the plug. So when I was using the splitter, I kept running up and down for tools and the wee lifting tongs and just wee bits and pieces. So I got this toolbox at a local agricultural supply place, and I've made up a couple of wee brackets here, and we'll get those bolted onto the back of the toolbox, and then we'll just weld it onto that main drill bar, and it means there'll be a toolbox on there and I can put all the different tools and things in. So I just have it roughly sitting on a couple of cushions there and mock it up roughly where I want it. Let's see if I can get a couple of tacks on this so she's roughly where I want it. She's tacked, she's level. Let's carefully get this off and weld this on. I'll put my safety glasses on. Well, that's a full trailer load there put through. It's a 12 to 6'6" trailer. I don't know, that probably took maybe 2.5 hours or something. I don't know, I actually forgot to time it, but something like 2.5 hours probably. So this spreader, I'd looked at a handful of others that are available in the UK and Ireland, and I narrowed it down to this one. The rest, unless you go into the rest of the vertical type, they're tow behinds, and they're just mega bucks. You have to spend over 3 grand. So there's a couple around 2.5. There's particularly this one and the Rock Venom 22. But the big advantage of this one is that you can change the plates here. So you can put a 4A wedge on this end, or you can have the 4A wedge on the ram end, and you can have a push plate here or a push plate there. So you can really change that about, which you don't get on the Venom. So that and the fact it's 40 ton made me sort of sway towards this one. The Rock Venom was a wee bit cheaper, but by the time you get the postage over to here, this one's probably a $5 cheaper. I reckon it's the better machine. The Rock Venom's a pull start, whereas this machine's pull start and battery, which I know it sounds something silly, but it means if my wife or somebody's using it, you can, you know, just turn the key and away it goes. Plus, it's got a battery, so and I can wire in LED lights. Come the winter time, you're out splitting, it's dark 3:30, 4 o'clock. So fancy maybe make a bit of a post here, put a bit of a work lamp on her, keep the neighbours happy. But yeah, you can go cheaper. There's stacks of the cheaper ones that are, you know, like vertical standalone things, but I reckon, you know, for my use I really needed to have a tow behind one. I had a go at a vertical one that I borrowed, but the thing was about 250 kilos and you just couldn't move it. You couldn't pull her up the tailgate onto the trailer or anything, so at least with this here it's dead easy. I wheeled it down myself, or you can stick it on behind the mower and move it about, and if you go to a customer's house and you want to split for somebody else, you can move it way out around the back of the house with the mower. So unless you're just sitting in the one position, sitting in your garage or sitting in a shed somewhere splitting, I think you really need to go for the tow behind options. So definitely, in Europe there's a CE regulation that means that log splitters that are sold have to have two handles. It's a bit like all push bikes, including mountain bikes, have to have reflectors and a bail, and the first thing you do when you come out of the shop is you take them off. It's a bit like that. So one of the first things obviously I did there was take that two-hand operation off and put it single-handed. That makes it so much quicker. You can stand there, and there's times when you're running it through that you want to hold the log up a wee bit, or just hold it the right way around so it goes through the four-way. So yeah, well impressed. The other thing is these edges here, like there's not a nick or a mark on them. Yeah, I don't know what this stuff's made out of, kryptonite or something, but boys, it seems to be real tough stuff. Like a lot of those sticks were, I don't know what sort of tree they were from. Like, look at this sort of stuff. And that, I don't know what guys in America call that, but in Ireland we call that stringy twisty old dirt. But yeah, that's her now. Tailbox on. So keep the lug tongs in there. I can stick a few other tools. We funnel for filling her with petrol. Maybe a wee bit of, you know, a couple of litres of hydraulic oil and engine oil. A few spares and tools. So I'm over the moon and I'm out. That's Northern Irish stacking that now. That's the DFR method. Do fine rightly. That's a lot we got off the trailer. There's maybe 2 rows in this bigger pile, so it's probably about 6 foot this way, 4 foot tall, 4 foot deep. And this is just normal Euro pallet, and it's maybe only, I don't know, 2 foot tall. That's what all came out of the trailer, that load there, and I don't know, I reckon it's maybe 2.5 hours splitting. Okay, thanks for watching.